Hi everyone, I have an interesting table that I would like to share with you, and this was actually requested by Arthur Prudent. He requested that I do a table on Donald Trump and the color purple, and I actually copy and pasted his request over here because for some reason when you all put in links in your comments, YouTube reports that as spam. So I had to copy and paste the comment over here just so I could flip back and forth and look at some of those links. But I'm just letting you all know that that's what happens sometimes when you put a link in your comment. Sometimes it doesn't get reported, but sometimes it does, and so I can't respond back. But I went ahead and did a table on Donald Trump in the color purple, and what I found was really interesting, and it's interesting how this ties in with all of the other tables, and it actually ties into the video that Arthur Prudent had done on the numbers 666,666, as well as some other strange numbers in the month of November. He had done this video here, which was very good, and I just finished watching another video that he just did, and he actually mentioned one of my videos at the end. He showed a short clip of one of my videos, and he also mentioned the fact that I told him that I did a table on the color purple and that I would be getting that up soon. So I wanted to go ahead and share this table on Donald Trump, especially since Arthur mentioned it here in his video. So I want to go ahead and get it up. But what I found was really interesting, and I just want to try to explain how this ties in to some of these other tables and to the other video that Arthur Prudent had done. And it's going to be a little difficult to explain how it all ties in together, so if you could just bear with me while I try to explain it. But what happened is when I put in the terms Don Trump and purple, I came up with this matrix over here in Exodus 24, and what I noticed right under the color purple, or the word purple right here, I noticed this phrase that says skins dyed red and seal skins. Okay, now this is something that had come up in another table that I did. This is on Obama third term, head shot dead. This is a table I did that I had talked about in my original Donald Trump video that I had done some time ago, a few months ago. And I had talked about in that video how I saw this phrase right here, skins dyed red and seal skins, and how the word dead was coming up in ELS form right in the middle of that, which made me think that this might be some kind of staged event, because that's pretty much how they do it in Hollywood. They use red dye and then they seal the skin. Okay, and I just wanted to mention that there's some people who actually think that this was a staged event. This is a clip from Arthur Prudent's video about the color purple, and he talks about how John F. Kennedy was assassinated on November 22nd, which is something that he had mentioned in his previous video as well about the numbers. And I just want to show you it. Just if you take a look at this clip right here, I've watched some videos before where they speculate that this was a staged event, because if you look at Jacqueline Onassis' reaction, you'll see that she doesn't look startled at all. And I'll just show you the clip. See how calm she looks? I'll just show you that clip again so you can notice how calm she looks when Kennedy is shot, because most people would be more startled if that actually happened. Just look at her reaction. I'll just show it one more time and just see what you think, if you think that that's a normal reaction. But anyway, that's just speculation. But as you can see here, Kennedy was assassinated on November 22nd, 1963. And then when I did my original Donald Trump table, or actually the table that I talked about in my last video where I had put in Don Trump President-elect, there's actually 111 matches for that, but then I added in the terms first month, first day, because that would be his first day in office, the 20th of the first month, because this date was coming up in the table. It was coming up with the second month on the 20th day of the month, which is actually November 22nd. It's the day before November 22nd, and on the Hebrew calendars, the days start on sunset the day before. So it was making reference to the day before November 22nd, which would be Heshvan 20th, and then 21st would be the next day. Okay, and I also thought it was interesting that this is the first of 20 matches, and the date I was trying to put in would be in reference to the inauguration. That's why I put in first month, which would be January, and then his first day in office would be the 20th of January, and that's what came up. It came up as the first of 20 matches, so I thought that was interesting coincidence. And then you have the 20th day of the month coming up right here in the text. But it also seems to be making reference to November 22nd, because the second month originally was the month of Heshvan, and the 20th day of the month would be when the 21st of Heshvan would begin, and the 21st of Heshvan is November 22nd, and that could possibly be the last day of the Feast of Tabernacles if we're a month off on the calendar. But what was interesting is that, oops, this is the wrong one, was that John F. Kennedy was assassinated on November 22nd. As you can see right here, that was the date of his death. And that's also the date that's coming up on this Donald Trump table. But in this Donald Trump table where I put in the color purple, it has this phrase right here about skins dyed red and seal skins. So that made me wonder if this could be some type of staged event. I'm not sure who's going to have a headshot wound, but the terms head come up, and I'll just show you another one that I did where it has the word head. It's right here. This one says Trump, purple, dawn, dead, head shot, rise, and saint. And the reason I put in saint is because if you go back to this original table over here where I put in the color purple, sorry, that would be this one over here. There's so many tables, and these are all seem to be related to each other, but it was this one over here, the first one I did with the color purple, and it had this phrase in it about skins dyed red. And so I noticed when I put in these other terms, I put in rise, as in rise from the dead, and I put in died, and all these terms came up, and you can see the word rise is coming straight up and down over here in the green. And then right next to that, sharing the R, you have rose up. So he rose up from the dead, and you see the word dead here in the green. So I'm not sure if this is talking about Donald Trump rose up from the dead. I'm not sure who it's talking about, but these words come up. But another thing that I noticed over here is that it's talking about goat's hair, which goat's hair represents the fallen nature, the fallen body, or the flesh, basically, and then the fine linen represents the restored body. Once we're restored, the saints are clothed in fine linen. And so someone had asked about, or someone had speculated that perhaps Donald Trump might be raptured, or that he's a saint. So I had put in the word saint, and as you can see, the word saint came up. You can see it right here in the green, the letters S-A-I-N-T. So I'm not sure if that's referring to Donald Trump, or if it's referring to all the saints, if this is referring to the resurrection. I'm really not sure what it's referring to, but I just thought it was interesting that all these terms come up. Okay, so I'm just going to go over some of the other terms over here. I had also put in the term rapture, because if it is talking about the resurrection of the saints, that would be the rapture as well. And that came up, and you can see the first part of it here in the bluish purple with the letters R, A, P. The second part is here in the light blue with the letters T, U, R, E. And then in the yellow you have the word shot, the letters S, H, O, T. And then here in the burgundy you have the word died with the letters D, I, E, D. And then you see Trump coming up here in ELS form in the light red with the letters T, R, U, M, P. And of course, like I said, I don't know if this is referring to Donald Trump, or if it's referring to someone else, or if it's referring to the resurrection. All I know is that all these terms are coming up in the table. But another thing that's interesting with the numbers in this video over here by Arthur Prudent, where it talks about this number right here, the 666,666 hours until November 22nd, 2016 at 6 p.m. So if you add in the 6 p.m., that was 7 sixes. That's what Montegraph had said in the video clip in here, that was 7 sixes, and he was saying how 7 times 6 would be 13. Well, it's interesting that when you put in Obama third term headshot, there's actually 13 matches that come up. And this was the fourth match, the one that had the same phrase over here about skins dyed red and seal skins. And that's what got my attention when I did this Donald Trump table. I saw the same phrase in there. And as you can see right here, the word purple is coming up right between the colors blue and scarlet. And scarlet is, of course, the color red. And of course, when you mix these two colors together, that's when you get purple, and purple is right in the middle. But there's something very interesting about the word for scarlet here in the Hebrew that I want to talk about in the second part, because I don't really have time to get into it now, but I thought this was really interesting, and I'll explain that in the next video, the next part. But there's a lot of speculation as to why everyone was wearing purple on the day that Donald Trump was congratulated, as you can see here in Arthur Prudent's statement. When they were congratulating him, they were wearing purple, and Hillary was wearing purple, as you can see right here when she made her concession speech. And there's a lot of speculation as to why everyone was wearing purple. A lot of it is explained here in Arthur Prudent's video. And there's another video that I saw as well that was done by Next News Network, where they give some reasons for that as well. But I'll talk about that in the next video. Thanks.